Hello everybody, Glass Half Dead here, and today I'm going to try and teach you how to pick a faction to take to a tournament. Now, I have a tournament coming up, so I'm going to tell you a few ideas I have, a few principles, a few things for you to mull over, and then give you my answers to whatever it is I'm asking. My gaming is your learning experience, maybe, I don't know. On the 3rd of July in London at Bad Moon Cafe, there is a Kill Team event going on. It's going to be 4 rounds, it's an hour and a half each, it's 100 points. And I am incredibly indecisive and I haven't decided what I want to take, so I'm basically going over my own thought process in what do I want to pick when I go to this tournament, and hopefully you can see my thought process and decide, hey, I like what he's doing there, I'm picking up what he's putting down, I'm going to copy his thoughts. But if you little thought stealer, are a subscriber to my channel, I'd like to give you a big double hello. Very pleasant, very wholesome. If you want yourself a double pleasantry in the next episode, subscribe, like, leave a comment right now, and that could be all yours. The very first thing you have to consider when taking a tournament to a faction is, and I think this is good, I'm not going to shock anybody with this one, is availability. Now luckily this is Kill Team, not 40k, and so the idea of painting up an entire new faction for a tournament, not that scary. Some crazy people do it in 40k. You only have to be a little bit crazy to do it in Kill Team. It's 20 models tops. Some, like my Grey Knights, are literally never ever more than 8 models. Even I can do 8 models. With contrast only. Obviously, I'm never going to paint something properly. No. If you don't have the models and it's a real tournament, not a TTS tournament, you need to have the models. So that's, you know, availability has to be the first thing you consider. Now, I'm not going to be making any new factions for this tournament, but I do already have, due to, you know, playing Kill Team for 3 years, I do already have multiple factions that I can consider. And luckily, most people I know that watch my channel, that interact with me in any way, have more than one Kill Team, it seems. Whether they're people that have come over from 40k, or they're beginners and they've just been around for like a week, you already have 2 teams ready to go. That's the beauty of Kill Team right there. Second up is intent. Why are you going there? Do you want to win? Do you just want to participate? Are you there purely for the social aspect? If you're there to win, that means you have practiced. That means you're taking a faction you believe can win in the pack. And if you know it well, your local meta. You're taking a refined list and you have a game plan. You know the pack, you know the secondaries. You're there to melt faces. If you're there just to participate, that's kind of the most open of your 3 intent options here. You just want to get some games in, and you're probably using the tournament itself as practice. I've certainly done that before. I remember I took my shooty orc list, had never played it, it was entirely unpainted. I had some cool RTLW commando models. I wanted to see what they did. I lost, but I participated. I got a good 5 games in, and, you know, when else am I going to get 5 games in a day? Now, if you're there to socialise, oddly, you actually want to take a specific list. You're not just there to not win. That's not the point of socialising. You're there to win or lose quickly. Now, I have often deliberately taken Grey Knights, because whatever they do, win or lose, they're a small elite team, they kill things, but they're a glass hammer. They win or lose quickly. And that means that I personally have time to, well, I don't socialise, I'm an introvert, and people don't like talking to me, that's kind of, don't know why that is. Oh, my personality. Right. Yeah. But I want to make sure that I have time to do player interviews after my game. Now, I can't be holding up the entire tournament asking my opponent to, hey, no, don't go and have a toilet break, don't go and get a drink or a tea or a coffee or water, whatever your poison is, come and talk to me on camera. That's incredibly rude. I feel bad enough as it is. So I know that I need to finish my games quickly. And of course, if you're not me that wants to do weird YouTube content, you could just talk to people. You walk around, check out the tables. Oh, maybe you can't do that. Oh, it's a pandemic. Ooh. Just be outside, go stand outside, talk, it's fine. Now, I actually haven't fully decided what my intent is yet. I'm going to have a think about which factions I would want to play, and then kind of take my intent based on the faction I want to play. I don't know if that's backwards. but it's what I'm doing. So let's look at the teams. From all of my options, I've narrowed it down to about 6. Demons, Harlequins, Astra Militarum, Tyranids, Grey Knights, Adepta Sororitas. Now I said that I don't know why I'm going, but I do know that I don't really care about podiuming. Podiuming. I don't care about coming top 3. I don't care about winning the medal, basically. There you go. First, second, third, don't really care. So I can ignore that factor to a degree. I'm not there to just win. And we're playing hour-and-a-half rounds with 15 minutes in between rounds at 100 points. This is done on the theory that it's been locked down, everybody's going to be rusty, everybody's going to be slow playing. But even then, this is a really long round time, and I can't see any game going to time. Like at 100 points, you can have 2 horde lists, you're going to finish the game. So I don't need to consider Grey Knights too heavily, because I don't need to finish fast. So with that in mind, I'm immediately going to rule out Grey Knights, a faction that I tend to consider my main. Which brings us to Tyranids. Now, Tyranids are not performing well in general, but I do believe they're a competent team, and taking them to a podium would be fun. Not because I want a podium, but because I like to show that I can do things with factions that aren't good. Like, oddly, winning, almost irrelevant, but I do need to win to do the thing. Oddly. However, I don't actually have enough experience with the faction, and I haven't practiced to be able to play them on autopilot. And, you know, still do well with them. So I can't guarantee a podium, and do I actually want to play Tyranids if I'm not going to podium with them? They're going to be tricky to play for me, and they take a long time. So with that in mind, Tyranids on the chopping block. They have been chopped. They were on the chopping block. I have chopped them. Which is, I mean, that makes sense for Tyranids because they're like meat, kind of, aren't they? Harlequins. I think Harlequins could podium. And their cognitive load is super low. Turn 1, hide behind line of sight. Turn 2 to 4, charge with 3d6 and kill things. Like, even I can handle that. And there aren't many models, so it's not like I have to think too much, it all plays out very quickly. Win or lose, they're kind of like Grey Knights, but I think they are going to be better in this pack. They are very terrain dependent, and in this pack we're playing 12-inch flamers on everything, and that does cripple them. But even so, I think they deserve a spot on the shortlist. They tick a lot of boxes, they're on the shortlist, let's do it. Astra Militarum are a powerful faction that could podium, no doubt there. Especially with the buff to flamers and power swords, I'm scared of them. And I believe I can play them well enough as it is. But they are a high model count faction, which I'm just naturally against. And due to lack of practice, you know what, I'm going to count them out. There you go. No Astra Militarum for me, for whatever reasons I just said. Demons have a lot of models, which is bad, but as a team, they're really good. Like, if I was more practiced with them, I think they would be the team that I go with. They could definitely podium, no questions there. But I'm not practiced with them, and I know that I can't take the overkill secondary with them, which sucks for me because that's my favourite secondary. I would have really liked to show off their capabilities because they don't really exist in the London meta. I've never seen them in person before, apart from the one person I play against who doesn't go to tournaments. And they're just a really strong faction. You know what? Despite how I started the Demons section, ultimately they are hipster enough that I put them on the shortlist. You know I love a hipster faction. If you never see them on the table, I'm building that faction. That's all I'm going to say. Which brings us finally to the Adepta Sororitas. Honestly, they're a bit of a mid-tier faction, which means whilst they have the ability to podium, you're actually relying a lot on luck, both for matchups and in some circumstances rolls, which is never a good place to be if you're trying to win. And I haven't played the team for a very long time. I haven't even thought about the team until I started building my 40k army of them like a week ago, and I haven't played them in Kill Team or 40k, so I haven't practiced enough to autopilot them. I don't know which secondaries I would want to take with them. They won't be quick to play. But I have just finished painting them, and I am interested in them as a 40k faction too, so I guess they make the shortlist. Sorry, I didn't imply that like anything I said at the beginning meant anything, did I? I apologise. I'm just making this up. I feel like I might want to play Sisters. So they're on the list, despite them clearly not matching any of my criteria. And that's the way a real player plays. So on the shortlist, we have Harlequins, Demons, and Sisters. Honestly, with how much my interests oscillate, I can't really say which faction I'm going to end up taking. Right now, honestly, I'm leaning towards Sisters, because that's what I'm doing hobby-wise in 40k. And it will just be a fun way to get a bunch of games in very quickly to learn how the faction plays in Kill Team. To remind myself how the faction plays in Kill Team. But knowing me, I could flip like a switch, and boom, I'm suddenly not interested in Sisters anymore because I've decided to collect Tyranids instead. Yes, that's happened, don't confuse me. And in that case, I'm going to play my default, which is Harlequins, because they'd be fast, low cognitive load, I could just kind of enjoy myself. Win or lose, basically. And that's the end of the video. Did this help you? Probably not. This was clearly just me making some content about the upcoming tournament and wanted to talk about it a bit. If you made it to the end of the video, I'd like to give you a big triple hello. Boom. Why is that? Because you made it to the end of the video and that really helps my channel, so thank you very much. Hobby update. As I kind of alluded to 10 seconds ago, most likely, Tyranids. I'm having some thoughts. This is all partly due to my my growing internal knowledge of how 40k works and which faction I might actually want to go hard on. I might or might not be building them. By the time you see this, I could be anything. Anything's possible. I am liking how my sisters are looking, but man, it's a lot of effort. It's a lot of effort. I'm waiting for some new white paint to turn up. Somebody suggested the Pro Acryl Blank Titanium White, which is meant to get like better coverage, so that's my thing. Anyway, this has been Glass Half Dead. Thank you very much for watching. If you've made it to the end of the video, no, I've said that bit. I hope you've had a good day and continue to have a good day. Goodbye.